All right, time for coffee with the consumer. We are going to cover some stonks, we're going to cover some YouTube videos, and then we're going to cover some Path of Exile. That is the agenda. Firstly, the stonks. I bought some natural gas. Let's see what we got here. We got $11,000 of natural gas at a cost basis of $18.37. I am now going to sell it at $20.50, making $1,000 profit. I sell all of it. I could be a little greedy. If we take a look at UNG, it shot up even higher this morning. UNG stock. It was all the way up to nearly 21, and now it's down a little bit. And I could wait and get greedy and try to pop it up just a little bit, but I'm just gonna sell it all right now because I'm gonna play Path of Exile in a little bit, and I don't want to have to sit there and watch all these stocks. Sell it at the market. Daytime. Preview order. Boom. That is my money for the day. If only I could do that every day, then, I could become super rich and don't have to re-get a job. But until then, I gotta fucking try to do it. Now, we can also see that I have Netflix short. I shorted it, what did I buy that at? 307. It's now 311. Netflix is stupid. It was supposed to go down because, of course it is. It's a fucking woke-ass company with a shit business model. I shorted it right around this area, expecting it, to continue to drop, and it fucking skyrocketed. And it's dipped back down again, so I gotta wait a little bit longer for this short to pay off. It's a small short, $3,000. And I don't short a lot because shorting is dangerous. I just want to make like $200 on this short. So we'll keep an eye on that. I got Honda. This is long term. This is just for the dividends. CRM. It took a crash right after I bought it. CEO quit, and on the exact same day that I bought the shares, I figured it would do a little skyrocket. I bought this and Snowflake. Snowflake went up. I sold that one. Salesforce did not. I got Brent oil. I'm expecting oil to go up one more time before they go into recession mode. Right now it's in inflation mode, and then with inflation, oil and commodities increase in price, and with recession, they decrease. So I'm expecting oil to continue to go up. We got this BNO. I bought a little early. I figured it was done going down, so I picked it up. I picked it up like right here, I think. Let's see, what's my cost? 29. Okay, I picked it right around this area as it was going down. I figured it would bounce back up into the 30 range. That's where I want to get it, like 31, 32. But it continued to go down, so I gotta wait for the BNO to pop back above 29, probably 31, sell that out for a small little profit. Activision Blizzard, still waiting for the deal to go through. I bought it at under the strike price for which they will buy it. Amazon, dog shit. I refuse to sell it simply because, I've been holding on to it for so long. It's only $4,000 worth, but it's down nearly 50%. That's a fun one. Warner Brother Discovery. I think they merged a while back when I bought it at 15, and now it's 11. It's gonna continue to go down. I don't think that's going up anytime soon. So I'm stuck on quite a few stocks. That's it for the stocks. We are done with stocks for today. $1,000 profit. Pretty nice. Let us take a look at some unusual memes. This channel, the unusual videos, tends to have the best meme videos for my particular taste. So I'm going to hit play on this and laugh and giggle and eat my bagel and drink my coffee. Yeah, I said bagel. I normally don't say bagel, but, bagel's where it's at.
Slowly drifting.
What are you doing? Get down. I You're big. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Stupid dog.
This is what I put you.
Guy's getting romantic, man.
Faster! Follow the rail! Follow the rail! You're doing awesome! Follow that rail!
That's your brake. That's your gas.
You take this down whenever you're ready to go. You got that all?
Hey, yo, the doorknob just dropped. Let's go.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Vlastně zaplavenými hráči musí nesouhlasně pozdvihnout obočí.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Samozřejmě předpokládat, že v této tajfunové oblasti jsou na záplavy zvyklí a tak
Legalize anabolic steroids. Wait.
Cats are fucking retarded. Yeah, couldn't predict that happening.
Because imagine, if
Eep.
Yo, look at this man bald ass head.
So, how you doing, man? What? Hey.
swag like Ohio, down in Ohio. Swag like Ohio, down in Ohio. Swag.
O ninja do Ticon chegou, vamos embora. Pega a visão. Encara Messi, gol.
Just vibing.
Eita, tá pegando.
Yeah, the Hoover takes out some hair. Holy fuck. Wheel Milo.
You're in the sidewalk.
I didn't realize that.
You're welcome.
All right. Don't do it, chicken. Don't do it.
E sapete che cosa penseranno? Che bastardi, magari ci avessi pensato io.
I've been there.
My insulation towel, you know, this keep all the heat and that moisture in, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lift that up. But yeah, like I told you, like the metal is a real good conductor, you know, and then when you drop it in there with the water, it boils everything.
There again. Was it there?
McDonald. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I mean, that's not gonna go in the thing. I can already see it.
It's been raining like crazy in Texas, bro. Ooh!
What the fuck was that?
It's raining like crazy in Texas, bro.
A big old bear.
Still no bitches.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's mwah.
Oh, was that her fucking foot?
That's mwah.
Ah, gross. Feet people need to go to jail.
Qué bonito.
Jesus Christ.
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Right. Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Whoa. That was good. That was good. Unusual memes, that's where it's at. No fucking way. Captain Lance got a frozen legion that actually works? What the fuck is going on? Yeah. That ain't Frozen Legion doing the damage. It's your fucking shockwave. Frozen Legion sucks ass.
Plus shockwave via cyclone and on a chieftain. Now, this new skill looked really interesting to me because it separates the scaling of attack speed to the scaling of your damage in other forms, mostly CDR. The way this skill works is it has a default cooldown of a base 0.8 seconds and it can store up to 6 charges. This can be modified with a helmet and chance to go up to +2 with a +2 statues, and instead of 6 guys appearing, there'll be up to 8. And
maybe with 8.
You can move around all you want, and then once this gets full charged, you press it and you're hitting with 6 basically sweeps at the same time. So ultimately you hit with a really big hit if you wait for it to charge. And so the way I'm using this character is I'm building into CDR to basically make this charge up faster so I can more often proc the big hit of a bunch of damage. And then on top of that, I'm also scaling into Shockwave, another skill that is also CDR related, not attack speed related. The amount of times this can pop off is based on cooldown, not based on the attack speed. So the idea is we have a really slow weapon. Moroyarki hits like a truck, 800, 1200 damage. There isn't a bigger flat hit in the game as far as I know, but it has a mega slow attack speed. But that mega slow attack speed doesn't matter to us because we are just casting. It's a spell. We cast it. The attack speed doesn't change it. It changes how fast they swing out, but ultimately it isn't really a issue in terms of does the damage get dealt? Yes, it gets dealt, and we get to move around even. We're not locked into that animation. So it doesn't have the danger of standing still for that long. It's more of a we cast and then we move.
Yeah,
Granted,
but
my
like
cast speed's terrible right now. I could invest in a little cast speed, and we could fix that up. Also,
good old
on
COVID
this
still
character,
sticking around.
we have the Cyclone proc, which is basically just a little tap.
But I think
and that
the
will cause a
Cyclone
shockwave
is
to
going to
hit.
do more damage
Also,
if you just Cyclone the
on
whole
play,
time.
an entire full run all the way to the end. For Fizz taking out 300 Chaos in rare gear plus the Moroi Urki, which would have been 2 Divines if I bought just a random roll, but there was a so this is what it looks like. You pretty much just phase run around, one tap to proc Shockwave. If it doesn't one-shot the pack, then if you have a tankier pack, then you proc Frozen Legion is basically what it is. I just run around a little bit, don't one-shot, then go to Frozen Legion, because the Frozen Legion hits hard. Right now, my Shockwave is just on a 5-link.
Shockwave's, I think, hitting pretty much just as hard. That Frozen Legion is useless.
It's been a weapon that sticks you to the ground, so to speak.
What kind of map it? What size of your map? What'd you do?
About that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a showcase. I have a tier 11 here.
Tier 11
character. We just did our Uber Lab not too long ago, and this will give you an idea. I'm gonna fix it and make it better, but for right now, for the most part, it's been one-shotting most packs. Obviously, we go into Delirium. It's probably not gonna one-shot the packs quite as well, but it still does pretty good to just do basically the real quick proc of Shockwave, and then if I see something tankier, like something that looks like tanky rare, that's when I proc.
It's definitely better than my attempt because of the weapon. I was trying to use it with Brain Rattler.
Quite a lot of elemental weakness, flammability.
It's still not any good though. That Frozen Legion is hugely disappointed. Bravo, Captain Lance, for setting it up. I gotta catch up on all these videos. Oh, what are you? No, that's not clicking it. I don't enjoy that. Let us take a look at my Path of Exile. Smote by Daddy, level 92. I leveled up twice yesterday. I still don't have a better weapon. Still using the exact same weapon, which is subpar. But I did buy a second one to try to, hit with some crafting. Hit that with some crafting. It takes a lot to get these. Let's upgrade it. I'm going to hit it right here. Live for everyone to see. Nope. Dud. I've been dudding out. Let's take a look. Still rocking this bad boy here. And by bad boy, I mean piece of hot garbage that's just good enough to use, but not good enough to be great. I replaced my Bringer of Rain for a helmet and body armor. Body armor for a 6-link astral plate. I didn't realize it was going to remove the 12 resistances when I slapped it with a couple of whatever those things are called, exotic currencies. Some embers, Eldridge, and yeah, fucking Ichor and Ember. I've got a Cyclopean Coil. This was, I think, 40C. I wanted to get a 15 just so I have the highest attributes. That should allow me to refund some of this stuff. Can I refund you? Nope, not quite. But it allowed me to refund some intelligence. I have 54 crit chance because I'm using overcharge. And I don't know, it just leveled to 20. Great. I don't know if overcharge is better than crit chance. Now that it's going to be leveling up again, I'll go back to crit chance. Increase critical strike chance versus overcharge, but we'll see. I'd have to do some POBing, which I haven't done. I don't want a POB because it's just going to show just how shit this build is. Now let's try a 15. No, let's try a 14. T14. I got more of these maps. Let's just do a mineral pool. Hit it with a rare. Unique boss has 35% increased life. That's the kind of shit I don't like to see. Because my damage is so low that 35% more life is a significant amount of time more to kill that boss. But let's run through this dog shit build that I have here.
I cannot do this yet.
I really don't want to fight that guy. He will take forever. Let me at least build my rage up before I click it. A little bit. Look at that. Dog shit damage. Absolute trash. And just string him along so I can fight him and other people at the same time. At least I got a little survivability now. With that new helmet, it gives me some life regeneration rate. I wouldn't fight the essences, but I need them for the sword. Trying to craft that new sword. Now when I get full rage, the build isn't so bad. Can hit some Vol Smites, which feel pretty great. But now it's no longer that cheap of build, because I have a 6-link body armor, so it has to be placed on a different pedestal than it was when I had Bringer of Rain. When I was using Bringer of Rain, it was a fucking, like a 5C build, so you can give it some leeway over the fact that it was so inexpensive. But now that it has a 6-link chest, and a 40C or 50C Cyclopean coil, we're looking at almost a Divine for this build. And for a Divine, the damage is quite atrocious. Not the worst thing you'll ever see. And obviously I need to spec it out a little bit. And if I get my crit up, I can then stop using the amulet that I'm using. And use a real amulet. So let us try Berserk on this guy. Pop, pop, Berserk. It's a little faster if I pop Berserk. You just gotta time it right so you don't run out of Berserk before he dies. I was barely off with my timing. You see the Berserk ended and I'm still swinging all slow now. I wish I was a little faster and would have got to T16 with Smite before they nerfed the, not nerf, before they fixed the bug with the attack speed. I don't really like popping Berserk that often because then you gotta build up the rage again and it takes forever to build up the rage. So this isn't, just yet, it's not a zoomy playstyle. I'm not gonna fight that guy. Every map has essence, so it's not that big of a deal to lose and to not get some of it. I haven't quite done the league mechanic. I'm waiting for my build to get more strong because it seems like it's just a DPS and skill check, and I have no skill, so I gotta bypass that skill with more DPS. But it is working. Not great. Smite is like a C skill right now. Maybe a D. Doesn't do a lot of damage. There's better skills out there. But ignoring the elemental resistances feels pretty good. I don't have to use any curses. I have a mark set up for the Assassin's Mark, just so I get... I'm pretty sure it'll be 100% crit chance, as I currently am set up. Let's check the offense on my Smoot. My crit is 94% chance with the, look like with that flask up, 86 without it. And that crit chance doesn't do any extra damage, it just triggers elemental overload and ignore elemental resistances on crit. So it looks like I got a solid 86. Let's pop, pop. Hit that Berserk. See, it's a little, takes a little too long for bosses. This feels like maybe 400,000, 500,000 DPS. I find the actual mechanics of the build to be a little bit interesting and unique. I'm not sure too many people have done this kind of combo that I'm rocking. I think Assassin would be a far better class for this current setup. I did not know this sword existed, so I didn't plan to use this sword. I was going to use the Meliquary or whatever that mace of unpronounceable maceness is. But you do get a lot of attack speed as a Berserker. With the Assassin, I wouldn't have to use the current amulet that I'm using. I'd be able to use basically any amulet. I could even do a Badge of the Brotherhood and do some frenzy charges, some power charges, get 100% crit, and then do a bunch of crit damage. And it'll probably end up being way more damage than the Berserker, and more survivability than the Berserker. Now, let me actually read it. Bleed, bleed, damage. I don't want hits to freeze. I'm immune to most things, but freeze. I cannot do freeze at the moment. I haven't found any of the things to pump up my Mantheon. But with my Cyclopean Coil, it gives me immunity to freeze. It gives me immunity to ignite. I mean, not freeze. Shock and ignite. Which is why I run it. Cannot be ignited if strength is higher than dex. My strength is higher than dex. Cannot be shocked if intelligence is... cannot be frozen. Actually, no. Intelligence higher. I can be shocked. I can only not be ignited. So I need to pump this dex up higher than the int. If I pump the dex up higher than the int, then I can't be frozen. So I need 20 less intelligence and more dex. So I just need to find dex on a piece of gear. Now let's take a look at my gear. Same gloves I've been using forever. Same boots that I've been using forever. They're okay boots. Nothing special. Helmet, I kind of like. Kind of like the helmet. Bought the helmet. It was like 5C. It's got increased rarity, which is great. It's got double life rolls, which is good. It's only a tier 2 life, but it's got a tier 1 armor and life. It's got cold res, and it's got life regeneration rate, which is extremely important for this build because of the degen from Rite of Ruin. I finally got repathed over this way, Rite of Ruin. I fucked up my body armor by hitting it with the 2 things, and it got rid of my resistances, so now I have to hit that, which caps out my resistances. Ideally, I'm going to replace his gloves and get some high-res gloves, so that way I can path out of these 2, and maybe go this way to get more dex, because I need the dex in order to be able to be immune to freeze, and then I got to do something about shock, or I can just let shock hit me and fuck it. Now let's take a look at the gear continuing. I'm using this bad boy. Ideally, I'd want to get enough crit so I no longer have to use this. If I take this off, let's take a look at my crit chance. Crit chance with that, you're looking at 55.28. Put this bad boy on, and it goes up to 83. So 30% chance to ignore elemental resistances. And when you ignore elemental resistances, you're doing a ridiculous amount more damage, probably like 90%. I calculated it as an Inquisitor. I think it was around 90% more damage when you ignore elemental resistances. Super strong, so 30% chance to do 90% more damage. Those are pretty good odds. Probably better than any of the other amulets that I currently have. And with Elemental Overload, crits already don't deal any extra damage. So in order for me to path out of this type of setup, I could save 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes, and I can path those 6 nodes into either sword damage, double-handed damage, path it into here, even get more life. I can do a lot of shit with 6 points once I get that 6 points. So in order to upgrade it to what I think will be the final product before I switch to a different build, I'll need a better sword, a sword with a bunch of physical damage instead of physical and elemental split. I don't really want a sword with that lightning damage. I just happen to hit it, and because I hit the lightning damage plus the physical damage, it's a somewhat high damage sword. But when it's just physical, the bonuses I get from things like this sword node here are going to increase exponentially. And then getting that will increase. I can even go to the other side here. Even though the overwhelmed physical reduction is pointless, it'll still give me more damage. Even get this bad boy to get 5% chance to deal double damage, which is good for the shock. So in order to do that, I need the better weapon. I need to pump up my crit. I'll be able to get these crit nodes here once the crit multiplier isn't useless. So I'll be able to path into that crit, path out of Elemental Overload, and then get an amulet that's strong. Probably an amulet that has life, crit chance, crit damage. A bunch of good shit. That bunch of good. And currently I'm using this ring here, which gives a bunch of crit. You got crit chance from the implicit. You got crit chance as a unique. And you have 50% increased rarity of items dropped by enemies killed with a critical strike. And level 10 concentrate when you deal a critical strike. So it's giving me concentrated ground. It's increasing my damage while on concentrated ground. And giving me some block. The block is kind of useless. It worked well with Bringer of Rain, because Bringer of Rain gave me 6 block. This gave me 5 block. So I was at a 11% chance to block with the two-hander. Felt kind of nice. I'd actually see the block go through from time to time. But that block is just kind of a nice to have. Mostly I'm doing it for the item rarity. I got a little bit of rarity on the helmet, a little bit of rarity on the ring, and I think that's it. Oh, and a little bit of rarity from this ring. So I'm getting some item rarity to hopefully get some better drops. So far I've only gotten 1 divine. My drops have been relatively shit. Not very many good drops have happened. Most of my currency is coming from the crafting recipe, and I need body armors. I got 2, so I can get 2 more crafting recipe. Typically, I'm done with the crafting recipe by now, but the crafting recipe is still my bread and butter in terms of currency. Yeah, typically by day, what am I on, day 3? Typically by day 3, I'm already done using the crafting recipe. But the currency drops have been so low for me. The crafting recipe is still very strong. Most of this is from the crafting recipe. I haven't found a lot of good stuff to sell. I got my amulet that I was using beforehand. It's a pretty good amulet. It does the 24 to lightning, which is strong. It does the frenzy charges, which is pretty strong. Adds physical damage, has rarity, increased life. This is what I was using. The top part, the faster start of energy shield, is wasted on this build that I have. But, you know, it's pretty good. 6,000 life, a fuck ton of regen. The build is okay, except for in the damage department. So let's open up Path of Building. It's a little harder to talk than normal because my nose is congested from the lingering effects of COVIDian. So let us import this build and see what kind of shit we're doing. Smote by Daddy. Let's take a look at this configuration. Let's max out this rage. Let us rage. We are at 70. We are in blood stance. Let's turn it into a boss. Pinnacle boss. We are on consecrated ground. First, let's take a look at the skill. Smite, include in full DPS. Enable smite, disable vol smite. You see vol smite, basically a damage doubler, which is pretty nice. Alright. Let's pop these up to 20 for when we are at 20. Bump, bump, like so. Got the melee hit, and then we have the aura. So we're going to hit with one of each. So the melee hit's going to do 248,000. Then the area hit is going to do another 161. So it is pretty close to 500,000 damage. About half a mil on the damage department. Not that great. Let's take a look at some of these nodes. What happens if we path out of all of that? So you can see it's barely doing a damage increase there because our weapon is so shit. Barely doing a damage increase. Barely a damage increase here. Let's take a look at what happens when I do this. Barely a damage increase. What happens if my damage is lucky? Lucky damage on non-crits. Wow. Oh, I guess I crit a lot, so that doesn't make any sense. Let us, yeah, I guess I don't have a real value there. So getting that will be pointless. And I don't want that extra int, because I need to get my dex higher. Oh, so let's go to the calc. Regular enemies, I could shock about 40%. Enemy is shocked. About 40% on regular enemies. So that's pumping at about 600,000. Bosses, I was doing about 16. So let us switch to Overshock, which basically doubles it. So bosses are about 40. That's a little generous. About 35% shock on a boss. And let's see if increased critical strike chance is better with Overshock. Overcharge is what it's called. Overcharge. It's negligible. It's about the same. Multi-strike doesn't work with smite, does it? Added fire might be kind of cool, because I can do some igniting. Either way, the build's kind of shit. I'm kind of maxed out on damage. It's a bit annoying, because I have to use this in order to get my crit up, to ignore the resistances. If I can get a chest piece, I just bought this chest piece as a 6-link for like 50C, and then just threw some crafts on and got it to work. The regenerate life is super helpful. 6% reduced fizz is super helpful. Beyond that, it's not super great. I can even hit it with the exalted orb if I had one, and pop another random stat on. But I'm probably not going to do that. It's going to be a prefix, and prefixes kind of suck. Wait, no, it would be a suffix. I could possibly get more res on it. Either way. I'll probably just not do that, and then buy another one that has crit. So if I can get crit on the body armor, I can get crit on the gloves, find a pair of gloves that I want to use. I was thinking about using these bad boys. These bad boys here. Oh, I guess I didn't put them. I could use these for the 300 crit multi. Once I switch out that amulet. I guess I didn't put them in their unique stash. I was going to use this one because it triggers the assassin mark, but I'm already triggering the assassin mark. I'm not short on gems, so assassin mark already getting triggered. So this wouldn't really help. The only thing this would provide is a 2% increased critical strike chance per 200 accuracy. And my accuracy isn't mind-blowing, 3,000. So I'm not getting that much critical strike chance. That's at like 30%. 30% increased critical strike chance. If my accuracy was way higher, that would boost my crit more, and then I would use it. But it's not quite worth it for the -10 chaos. and reducing my life total a little bit. But gloves are probably my next upgrade. These gloves are okay, but nothing special. Nothing to write home to my mother about. So I'm going to replace the gloves. I'm going to try to get some gloves with some base crit chance. Gonna upgrade the weapon. Want to get a weapon with all physical modifiers. I've been using the crafting. Do I got any more juice? I want to be able to craft this weapon live.
I cannot do this yet.
Right here we got attack, which is purple. Almost something I can work with. Nope. 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 Come on. Come on. Oh, if only that wasn't tier 7. And then physical. Harvest is super good for this kind of a thing. Hopefully, eventually, I get a better weapon. I don't want to have to spin multiple divines to get one that's already made. I just craft my own. Almost. And by almost, it wasn't even fucking close. We got kind of a high physical damage. A tier 4. Triple stack. Physical damage and accuracy, tier 7. Gross. And nothing but duds. It is very difficult to get this son of a bitch. We got some critical here. 1 critical shot. Tier 6 fizz. Want to get a tier 1 fizz. It would be pretty great. It's almost what I want. Need to get a higher fizz roll. I don't really want cold. Need that crit. That physical attack damage leech is useless. Accuracy's not a bad choice on the nodes. So that's the build. Let's run one more. Nah, we don't need another round. You saw it. That's the build. This is Coffee with the Consumer. I'm almost out of coffee. I've consumed the coffee. I consume the game. I consume everything.